Hi friends, I'm Dr. S.K. Pandey with a new topic, evolution of state system. I'll be talking on the evolution of state over the years. Well, what happens when someone drives or rides without following the rules? The drivers and riders in such circumstances are fined. Don't you think that on one side it is said that we are free, on the other we are not free to do what we like? And why government fines? Why not any other body or society itself? In villages, we have been living a life where the elders always interrupt to the younger people if they do something harmful to them, something wrong to them. In family also, our parents always keep on guiding us on different issues like using of mobile phones. Actually, we are the member of various setups simultaneously, like family, society, and of course the state. None of us can say that he or she is not the member of any state. All of us, irrespective of our countries, are the member of any state. The membership of a state is mandatory. However, the same in other organization is voluntary. Like if you are a member of a cricket team of your school or college, or a member of a photography club of your school, it's a duty or desire. But in case of state, you have no choice. Your desire doesn't matter. You cannot say that you are not the member of a particular state. This compulsory element distinguishes the state from rest of the other organizations. Now we will be talking more on how a state evolved over the years. Friends, Aristotle says that male, female, and slave form a family. When many families are there, it's a state born. Let me make it clear that slavery in the days of Aristotle was a common practice, unlike today. Aristotle supports this idea. He is criticized also for this. This is how a state was born. Let's further discuss the evolution of state into many parts, beginning from ancient times. In ancient times, the people were living in a group not very well organized in manners so that they could be called the state. Generally, these were patriarchal arrangements. Such political entities were formed on the fertile lands of big rivers like the Nile, the Indus, etc. Such developments took place in Iran, Peru, Egypt, China, etc. When the tendency of dominance increased, the despotic nature of control was born. These political entities were organized to collect revenues and to recruit the soldiers. Even today, the state collects the taxes from its people. These states will lose in their existence. Consequently, whenever the leader turned weak, these organizations were dismantled. These political entities may not be very well organized. Even then, these facilitated the further development of state. The second stage actually is called the most important development in the context of the evolution of state. It was the emergence of the Greek city-states, evolved due to the need of security from neighboring threats. They were very small geographically and of course demographically. Plato says that the population of a state should not exceed 5040, that is 5040. This proves the shortness of these Greek city-states. The people of these aristocratic states were very loyal to the state. They would actively participate in different activities of these states. In fact, citizenship was a function. The Greeks considered these city-states more moral institutions, unlike today, as a legal system. Today we consider a state as a legal setup. Despite these merits, There were some demerits in these city-states as well. Slavery was one of them. They failed to unite as a nation. Instead, they were more indulged in confrontations. This situation was an opportunity for the Romans to grow here without any major counter-strike. The fertile soil of river Tiber manifested in the form of big empire, like the Greek city-states. The Rome started its journey as a small city-state, and successive victories over others made it a huge empire. Similar method of worship was good reason to develop them further. Monarchy was in practice, and the patricians, the local aristocrats, were also the part of this system. Plebeians were underprivileged community here. The monarchy by 500 BC gave space to republicanism. The two classes, patricians and plebeians, had fierce struggle for power. In the long run, this conflict resulted into the birth of civil society, where both the plebeians and patricians became the part of it. When two powerful groups came together, Rome became very powerful, in fact, most powerful of its times. Subsequently, Rome began the campaign to assimilate the scattered territories into it. Rome annexed Italian territories first. Rome very soon united the Western world in a single unit. Now, Rome was a huge empire. To make it functioning efficiently, it was divided into a strong center and subordinate provinces. Proconsuls were to take care of these provinces. Gradually, the monarch emerged as all in all, and his orders were now the law of the land. The monarch was worshipped as God on the basis of the divine theory of state. Democracy, liberty, and accountability declined. Unity, law, etc. got the prominence. Rome is considered as the very first organized attempt of being united politically despite of plenty of diversity. Rome could not remain for long. The soulless efficiency, decline of moral values of higher class, and weak economic base ended this empire. In the words of Gattel, Greece developed democracy without unity. Rome secured unity without democracy. The birth of feudal state is another state that I'm going to discuss, I'm going to talk about. The decline of Roman Empire gave birth to severe anarchy. This situation ushered a new era of feudalism. Feudalism is not recognized as the political entity. However, when anarchy was at its peak, feudalism provided some relief. This period is known as a transition period between the Roman Empire and modern nation-state system. After the fall of Roman Empire, the vast territory was divided into small lands, controlled by a feudal lords who further distributed the land among his subordinates, and these subordinates distributed the land among their subordinates. This division of land gave birth to a new society based on the distribution of land. It was a hierarchy actually. This is termed as feudalism. All the efforts of Roman Empire to develop a modern state system turned futile as feudalism was running on the basis of local rituals. It only ended anarchy, but was throwing the society back to the olden days. However, amidst these chaos, the Christianity survived with more strength and influence of society. Church was very powerful, and it was a state in fact. The church had comprehensive influence on the social and political system, but nothing remained permanent. We know well, here also the same happened. As a result, the importance of church started to decline gradually by 14th century. The Protestant reforms almost ended the authority of church on the worldly affairs. This paved the way for the development of nation-state. The modern era begins with the Renaissance and Reformation. These movements ushered new social, economic, and political developments, particularly in Western Europe. Feudalism, in the meantime, was losing its grounds. When there was anarchy, the feudalism played a pivotal role, but in the changed social, economic, and political landscape, feudalism could not remain for long. As a result, people started to unite on the basis of language, religion, etc. Entire Europe was filled with a spirit of nationalism. Now, people were mobilized on these grounds. Very soon, feudalism was replaced by the nation-state. In the backdrop of industrial revolution, the nation-state was taking shape in Spain, France, and England. The differences between the kings and pope were rising. The kings now wanted to get rid of the control of pope and had a vision to establish full control on the state. The people now preferred peace and prosperity. They stood with the kings in these developments. The people instead considered the kings as the manifestation of their nationalism. The king now were having regular army. This ended their dependency on the feudals. The 100 Years' War and the War of Roses ended the importance of these feudals. By the end of 15th century, the political strength of feudalism was almost finished. The religious reforms spread of education and awareness unveiled new thoughts on human values like dignity, freedom, rights, and the limited role of religion in the worldly affairs. Lasky says that the alliance of kings, bourgeois, and the farmers ended the medieval period and, of course, the feudalism. The new nation-state was based on sovereignty. Thinkers like Thomas Hobbes supported absolute monarchy so that the rights of people could be protected. John Locke believed that the main aim of state is to protect the right to life, liberty, and property. Rousseau gave the idea of popular sovereignty and believed that state is based on the general will. In the meantime, revolutions also strengthened the concept of nation-state. The slogan of French Revolution, liberty, equality, and fraternity, depict this idea. Jeremy Bentham supported the law reforms and stood with the idea of utilitarianism. He was in favor of greatest happiness of greatest number. Machiavelli favored the idea of secular state and said the religion should not be interfering the functioning of state. Despite these features, the idea of nation-state, there were many shortcomings associated with the nation-state as well. Extreme nationalism and colonialism strengthened autocratic political tendencies. Rise of fascism and Nazism is considered behind the outbreak of big confrontations like Second World War. The arms race and the birth of weapons of mass destruction made the people realize that the human welfare is in cooperation rather than in confrontation. The internationalism started to get new impetus all over the world, but the Cold War terrorized the world for decades. After the end of Cold War and the birth of unipolar order, the world got another dimension that is called globalization. This is an age of globalization, the age where we are living. The stupendous growth and development of information and communication technologies ignited the IT revolution, the unification of world economy, etc. So friends, we are living in an age when we are living in a global village. Global village is actually the outcome of many developments in science and technology in particularly. So that's it from me. If you have any query, any comment, please don't hesitate. Share your thoughts with me. Thank you so much for listening to me.